Hello everyone and welcome to another Pokemon Pocket video. We're going to be checking out another new deck today and it's going to be Umbreon Hydreigon. It's pretty cool. We've been playing it today. I've done some special things with this deck that you'll see shortly, but let's just take a quick look at some of the highlights. Of course, we are going to be focusing on the Hydreigon, one of the new cards, one of the new Pokemon in the game now. It's a stage 2 evolution, so we will be needing those rare candies. We do have one of the Swirlos here as well, but the main thing you want to look at here is its high damage output for kind of no energy, or 1 energy generally speaking. With its Roar of Unison, you take 30 damage for using it, but you gain 2 energy, and you can do that whether you're on the bench or in the active. So the general idea here is use Umbreons to do some early damage, stall, or maybe some late game with the EX, but then use your Hydreigons to deal really big damage, knock out some of the even the smaller EX Pokemon, and have a chance against some of the bigger ones as well. So we have 2 of those, and then we are running the evolution that the EVs that evolve into the on demand on the first turn if you want, just to make it easy to get cards out of your hand. And then with that, we're running 1 Umbreon EX just for a bit of a tanky Pokemon, and also the Dark Chase can be very useful if you've done early damage with the regular Umbreon, or if Hydreigon's not quite finished something bigger off, you can then pull it back in with this Umbreon in EX. And because Hydreigon more or less gives itself its own energy, because you can double proc the ability across 2 turns as well, instead of using the manual energy from the zone. It does mean you get the ability to use this Umbreon, because I think that was one of the problems historically with this card, is manually attaching 2 dark energy to this. It's kind of difficult because you're just not doing a lot of anything else. Next up, of course, we have that 1 Umbreon EX, and then we have one of my favorite cards from previous sets, which is the regular Umbreon. Although it's lower health, obviously only 100, but you can do this pretty early in the game, especially if you go in second with that EV. You can evolve it straight away and start hitting for 40, but it also just puts a stop to so many early game pushes. Basically stops any of the dogs attacking, stops the likes of Darkrai, Giratina, all of these Pokemon and more in the game, especially a lot of the electric types as well, like your Zeraora, Oricorios, and so on. They just can't really do much about this, so your opponent has to either do swaps, which might cost energy, or do something creative to get rid of this one. So basically you want your Umbreons tanking while you get your Hydreigons ready. And how do we do that? Well, of course we have 2 Pokeballs. We have 1 Pokemon communication in there to help just like fish through cards and fish through Pokemon, because generally you want your evolutions, obviously. We have the 2 rare candies, obvious, and then we've got, it gets a little bit weird. We've got 1 Repel, because I think Repel's absolutely fantastic right now. The fact you can use supporters to draw cards, and if you draw Repel, maybe the Repel wins you the game. And that has happened multiple times when I've been playing this list. We then have, although it's a bit split up here, we have 2 Copycats in here and only 1 Professor's Research. Copycat has been absolutely busted for me in this list. Because you can evolve the EVs relatively fast, you want to be cycling through and evolving the Hydreigons as well as quickly as possible, and the likes of Pokecoms as well. You can dump your hand pretty fast, and even if you can't dump your hand, I think this is like a weird misconception with the card. People feel like you need like a really low hand size to use this, and you really don't, because if you are looking for a rare candy or a Hydreigon or an Umbreon, and you have this card and say this and 2 other cards or 3 other cards in hand, as long as your opponent has a few cards, like maybe 2 plus, if you really need it, you can play Copycat, and yes, you shuffle your hand in first, so you might redraw the same cards, but you do get a redraw, right? And there's a fair few times this card has, I've put like 2 or 3 cards in the deck, drawn say 4 or 5, and I'm in a much better position. You can cycle through your deck very quick, and then if your opponent is using things like the dogs or anything like that draw a lot of cards, or they've just played a Professor's Research but not used the cards they really drew from it, then Copycat is busted. And we cut a Professor's Research for it because you want a few supporters basically, so you can hand dump as quick as possible, at least reduce the hand size down. And Professor's Research, whilst of course good, I did want to test this, and it worked really well. We then, to round it out, have a Sabrina in there, because I think Sabrina Repel combo is just so strong. Being able to multi-bounce in this meta right now is very good. And then the Leaf is in there because these Pokemon all have 2 retreat, apart from the EVs and obviously the Dinos. But Sometimes you need to pull an Umbreon out and get your Hydreigon in for that big attack. And it can be a little bit difficult, especially this Umbreon, because you normally only want to put one energy on. And if you've not double procced your Hydreigon, then you'll want to put the one energy on the Hydreigon to do it. Now, it's not a huge problem most of the time, but I do like the Leaf in there just in case. So yeah, that is the deck list. It's super fun to play. There's a lot of cool plays you can make, and a lot of ways you can sort of pin your opponent in, and you have fantastic game against the likes of Oricorio, which can sometimes be a bit of a problem. This deck doesn't really struggle versus it at all. So yeah, that's going to be the game. Sorry, that's going to be the deck. I'll get my words out properly. And we'll be playing 3 games back to back as usual. So let's get to it. Okay, let's get into our first game. We'll see how this goes. Again, just a reminder, we play 3 games back to back, win or lose. I show you what happens, and I'll show you what can go, hopefully what can go right, but sometimes what can go wrong, because no deck is perfect. Unless you were Suicune and Greninja in the last meta. But other than that, I'll show you what can, what can happen in your average game. Here we have, this can be a little bit spicy because I've not had a chance to really play much with Mega Ampharos because I've only got one of them. But from what I've seen, especially today, it's quite good. Like, the bulk on it is just a huge problem to deal with a lot of the time. However, we are starting off relatively well. We have the Insta Umbreon, which we don't really want to do. So I think... Let me think about this. If we had the other Umbreon, we just win. I'm pretty sure. Okay, let's think about this. This can't knock us out. So I'll just preemptively put the energy on the Eevee and attack. We will hold the Umbreon. It feels a little bit bad that we've got 0 card draw, because this is the type of hand where I would like half consider throwing it away. If we had the copycat. However, next turn, Hydreigon can just start going, which is very, very good. Oh, this is great as well. They attach this energy and just, that's it. This Oricorio's gone. Okay, this Oricorio's gone, right? Oh, Pokeball, good pickup again. We wouldn't mind some of the supporters or something here, but we'll get there. The other Dino will just plop out there. It's fine. Normally... I found that you don't have to worry too much about your bench in this deck. Generally, you want the 2 Hydreigons, and if you're putting the 2 Hydreigons down, the Umbreon's kind of safe to an extent. So yeah, you normally have to just throw it all down. Here, though, we are going to be able to do that I talked about here. Roar in Unison. Go straight up to 3 energy with the one we attach this turn. It obviously takes the 30 damage. We do the cheeky retreat, which just hurt a little bit because, again, now this Umbreon EX isn't really playable for now. But we do get to Hyper Ray. It does discard all the energy, but we can just do it again next turn. And now, Oricorio's just gone, which gives us the Umbreon, the potential of Hydreigon, Umbreon EX, which is quite a strong set of combos here. The only thing that's been a little bit tricky, I think, so far, is if they evolve into one of the evolutions as 140 health, which is almost all of them, actually, we don't actually have a Giovanni. It is something I was thinking about doing, just to make that 130 go to 140 a little bit easier. But if Hydreigon brings one of the evolutions down to like 10 health, it's not healing back up to a relevant amount most of the time. And then we can just Umbreon and pull it back, right? They're going to run with the Eevee. Okay. They don't want us to knock out that. They're going to give us a Mareep instead. Okay. And we do finally have card draw, so there's our one Professor's Research. Oh, and Repel is actually great. How do we want this? I think we Repel because then we have yeah, let's Repel. Because then there is a Sabrina in the list, right? So we can Repel. Because I don't think we care about double Mareep. It's unlikely they're going to get to double Ampharos. And then we can just do this. Juice again. And as you can see, Hydreigon, people have likened it to Rampardos, and it is quite strong. One thing that people are doing as well is people are running heals in this deck. So you can like take the 30 and then heal it back up a little bit. I've not found a huge need for that yet. Just in the games I've played, this seems a little bit better to just say, if they spend time knocking this out, fine. Because even now, right, the at least the Mega Ampharos is a 3 attack. Oh, they're going to evolve this. What? Oh, no, sorry. That's just a Mareep. Yeah, I thought it was a Flaffy for some reason. Okay. So this is still requires 3. Now, all we have to do is bide our time till we get Sabrina now. Let's think. We do have rare candy for another Hydreigon. So I can actually shuffle this Umbreon away. And this is what you got to think about this deck as well. You don't have to just play your Pokemon out all the time. Okay, we may as well do this. It's starting to get a little bit scary, I will admit. This is eating our energy. If we'd had this Leaf earlier, we'd be in a much better spot because there'd be 1 energy on this Eevee, which is huge. Or if we had the second Hydreigon, we could start using energy on that so we don't have to use manual energy. I will do this though, and I'll just let the Mega Ampharos get me, I guess. Because they still have to heal as well, or they're potentially knocked out to another thingy draw. Okay, well they did heal, but not enough. Unless they have Lily as well. Lily as well would be brutal. Okay, it's Pokemon, that's fine. And the good thing here is, because we've not committed to the... okay, 60. As long as they didn't knock out this Eevee, we're still in an okay spot here. Let me think. I mean, we have Leaf. I mean, we just need to draw it, right? And we have Leaf, so whatever. Yikes. So we're gonna need Umbreon, I guess. EX. We did not get it. Okay, this is a problem. So we're gonna have to just do this. I think we just lose now though, right? Oh, that was so close. Okay, so that was a bit tricky. We didn't get the best start because we lost an energy. We went for the comms on the Svileos. Maybe we should have just gone Umbreon, but I feel like the Umbreon could have just taken damage and got one shot anyway. A little bit unfortunate we didn't hit the Sabrina. However, you know, it is what it is. They had the time to get to the Ampharos and we were a little bit slow. The Sabrina would have been nice. They're low. Oh, and now they play Sylveon. If they played Sylveon, then we maybe had a better chance with the copycat. I'm not really sure what they're doing because it's a guaranteed win. So we'll just concede. I'm not really sure what the plan is here. It's literally guaranteed win. So we'll just get out of that one. A little bit unfortunate there. A little bit of a tough one. We didn't really get good card draw early on. But still, you can sort of see the power of Hydreigon. And if we'd got the second Hydreigon, because we had that second rare candy for ages, if we'd just drawn a few more cards, maybe we would have got there. Okay, let's go for game number 2. We are going first. I think generally we want to go second unless we go crazy with Hydreigon. We do have Dino and that's it. But 2 Pokeballs and a rare candy. I've got an itchy nose today. So 2 Pokeballs is nice to sort of thin the deck out. This is the sort of opening where you want 2 Pokeballs and then we want to draw like Copycat, right? And then we want to just dump as much of the hand and then just go for a bit of a refill or at least just a reshuffle. Oh, okay. So this is going to be the Dusk Noir Absol Mega deck, I think. Which I personally don't have much faith in. You let me know in the comments if you think this is good, but I tried similar versions of the Dusk Noir thing, and I think it's a little bit too memey. But I'm probably going to say that, and we're going to get stomped, so, you know, let's see how it goes, I guess. Again, going first, not the best unless we draw Leaf, because Dino kind of gets stuck. Although we are strong against the Duskull because it's dark. Unfortunately, the boosted evolution only works in the active spot. So it would have been nice to just dump both of the cards here, but we'll see how it goes. Second Duskull. Oh, that's huge. No Absol's huge. That's giving us a lot of time. Well, seems good. Also, as well, this Umbreon kind of just stops Absol being a problem. So yeah, this is again quite the start, let's say. So there goes one Duskull already. Which could, oh, I'll evolve this one, but we will hold in case we get something a little bit better. Because what we don't want is some weird shenanigans where they like lock us into this Umbreon. If they Sabrina this and knock it out somehow, okay, we just put in base Umbreon, right? And it's fine. Whereas if they Sabrina'd in the Umbreon EX and we don't have Leaf, it's suddenly way more difficult. And then they can maybe Cyrus it and so on, so on. Never mind, they didn't get what they needed. Again, Duskull shows me why that deck is not great. And again, I guess at least we witnessed the power of Hydreigon. Like one of the better ways, if you do go first, it's probably better to do it in that order. If of course you can get Hydreigon. Very, very strong. Okay, and now we have game 3. We are going second, so if we get an Eevee start, this is going to be nice. We do. Okay, and we have Copycat. This could be quite strong. They're fire, so there is a slight caveat. If they're playing this deck, it might be a little bit difficult because guess what? If they curve straight into Blaziken, it can be hard to deal with. If basically against a strong curve Blaziken, you need to double either do some shenanigans with Sabrina, like we might be able to do, or we want to like double Hydreigon to just deal maximum damage. This does go in our favor though with this Copycat. Okay, so we're starting to get the pieces of the puzzle here. And weirdly enough, I'm actually going to forgo the Sabrina because if we get Umbreon here, this could be quite good. Let's see how we go. So we get shuffle those 2 back and then we draw what, 5? And we get another Copycat. Leaf, Umbreon. Okay, this is nice. So we can go Umbreon here. And start piling on at least a bit of the pressure. I can Pokeball to draw the Dino. So look how many cards we've drawn, right? So we're on 9 left. And then we can potentially Copycat again, depending on how many cards they draw next. So although we may not win this specific matchup, at least you can see the potential power of this card. Now, if they go straight into Blaziken now, I'll cry a little bit. It's the one thing you want to avoid, but there's not much we can do about it. It's all about where they attach. Well, they won't attach the energy to Entei because he can't tag. Dropping another Entei. And then they're playing May. So they've got another Torchic, I guess. The other Entei does stop me from, like, Sabrina and the chicken, which is a big deal. It's a little bit rough, though, because Blaziken more or less one-shots, or basically does one-shot every single Pokemon. So although this deck, I feel, is good against most things, it can be a little bit tricky against... They're giving energy on the Entei. Very interesting. So now we just do the plan again. I think I'm putting the energy here, just to preload. And then as you can see, they have, what, 5 cards? And then we can just throw these away. We shuffle 2 back, and then draw 5 more. And there can't be that many cards left in the deck. There's Rare Candy, there's Comms, there's Umbreon, there's Hydreigon, there's Repel. Okay. So already we're looking good. And I think I want to Roar now because this saves us some energy, although maybe it wasn't really needed, but whatever, it's fine. There's Waffles moaning about something. We do one more attack, I think, because we want this to be in range of the Umbreon EX pull. Okay, so they did evolve the Blaziken, which is a little bit scary. So I think now I'm supposed to Repel and see what they put in. Okay, so they put the Blaziken in. So again, now I'm pretty sure. Wait, I think I research. It's still fine. So I think now we go this Umbreon. We retreat it out into Hydreigon. And I think I'm supposed to comms into the other Hydreigon, because we know that's guaranteed. Okay. I think you've got to do some weird maths with energy here to make sure everything's set up. So these get one shot anyway. So you may as well double proc them if you can. then we're going to Hyper Ray, which is fine. So if they heal now, we can potentially get it again. They are in Umbreon EX range. They've put another Torchic down. There's the Lily, okay. Okay, so how many cards? Okay, 2 cards in deck. So this is going to be huge, right? Because now we can play our Hydreigon. We can attach the energy here, so it's done. We have Leaf for this Umbreon. We Roar. And then deal 130. And then if this Blaziken does a Sabrina, we just put in the Umbreon, and they'll kill whatever they Sabrina, or knock out, sorry, whatever they Sabrina, which will be this. And then we will draw Umbreon EX, unless they exactly red card us or something. Because it's the last card. And they should probably... Although they're not, they might not think we run Umbreon. Okay, there we go. So they're swapping in. We've worn this down, which is the important part. You want the early attacks on the Blaziken to wear it down. And then this, I'm glad I've been able to show you. But this is the highlight of, like, why we want the Umbreon EX, even just as a one-off. Because the ability to just go, oh, actually, no, you're getting pulled back in, my friend. And dealing 80 is quite strong. And then the Leaf's going to come into play as well. So we can Leaf, even though they didn't kill the Hydreigon. I think they wanted to strand the Hydreigon in. Although we could have self-knocked out with its ability anyway, if we really wanted to. But we bring in the Umbreon. And now the Umbreon uses Dark Chase onto the Blaziken. And this is a win I'm really glad I could show you. Because this matchup is hard, but it is doable. So we're going to knock out the Blaziken and then they leave. So yeah, there you go. The deck's really fun. There's a lot of cool tricks you can do. Hydreigon, as we've seen, is very powerful, but you've got to think about it, right? It's not just a go and press button, go. You've got to think about how you want to use it, especially with the retreat costs in the deck and everything. But really fun deck to play. You lock out some stuff with regular Umbreon. Hydreigon does some high damage, and then Umbreon EX can do some tricky things, as I've just shown you. But that's going to be it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the games. Make sure to click like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm really trying to do a little bit more on the channel, and it all helps, trust me. So yeah, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.